It is the middle of July, so it is finally time to do a mid-year wrap-up tag. I've seen a lot of people do this type of tag recently on YouTube. Sometimes they were just answering the question, sometimes they were saying every single book they read so far. But I think I'm gonna do in this video me answering every question, and then I'll probably do like a little short or reel where I am telling every single book I read so far. So follow me on my Instagram also. I have every single question on my computer. The first question is gonna be the best book I read so far, and I could not choose only one book. I physically could not tell you just one book. I ended up having 3. There's only one that technically you cannot read right now, and it's Hair of Fire by Sarah J. Maas, because it is the Assassin's Blade, Front of Glass, Crown of Midnight, Queen of Shadow. I think it's the 3rd or the 4th book in the Front of Glass series. And by the way, you should read the Assassin's Blades first. The Hair of Fire was exactly what I needed from Front of Glass. It was with Queen of Shadows. It was the culmination of everything I wanted. It's the 3rd book, because Queen of Shadow is after this one. It was just what I wanted. Those 2 books are exactly what I wanted from this series. I loved every single character. I love the plotline in those books. It was just so well done. Then, in kind of the same vibe, because it's also a fantasy book, we have Fourth Wing. I didn't give this book 5 stars, but I had so much fun reading it. Like, I couldn't stop reading it. The storyline was so perfectly timed. This book biggest advantage is that it's really well paced. There was not a single moment where I was getting bored and just wanted to stop. There was just, I would say, the smut scenes were not my favorites, but other than that, I don't have any complaint about this book. The last book of the best so far is Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. Once again, I had so much fun reading this book. It was such a great time. It is still in the same vibe as all other Ali Hazelwood books. Women in STEM, kind of enemies to lovers. In this one we have a bit of fake dating, but actually not with the right person, which just made it a bit more fun. This man, the man in this book, he just could read the main character so well. He just knew what she didn't tell him, and that was a bit freaky, but I loved it. The second question is best sequel so far, and I would say 100% The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. This is the 2nd book in the Crown of Nyaxia series. I pause because it's not the 2nd book, it's actually the 3rd one, because there is a novella in between them, but technically it's the 2nd book. The novella is not essential to reading the 2nd book. It's after The Serpent and the Wisdom of Night by Carissa Broadbent. I usually am kind of disappointed by Geology. The 2nd book always just fell flat, especially if I really liked the 1st one. Like, for example, Those All Rose, I actually really liked the 1st book, but the 2nd one was such... it was not it, really not it. I was kind of scared that this was gonna be the same thing, but no. The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King was really as good for me as the 1st book. I loved it so much. And the main character, the main guy, which I can't read names, but he was so in love with her. I love seeing love in fantasy book because the stakes are so high. It's not like, will you move to another country for me? It's, will you die for me? Then we have new release you haven't read yet but really want to. Without hesitation, Crimson River by Daphne Perry. I know a lot of people currently are not a big fan of the Edens because it's not like the greatest book series. A lot of it is kind of repetitive, but every single book I read in this series, I've had so much fun. The Edens is a series of small town romance. Like, it's a small town, but it doesn't exactly feel like a small town, but the family actually lives in a ranch, so it kind of had similar vibe. And each books has a different shop. For the first one in the Goodreads we had it one night stand that you end up seeing often. The second one is single mother, I think. Mother or father? No, single father. And it's the nanny. I'm pretty sure that was that. The third one was exes. The one that got away, kind of, because what happened was insane. And the last one is accidental marriage. So this one, I don't know what happened in it. I think she got hurt and she's helping this police officer trying to get the man that hurt her because he did something else. Don't really know. I loved every single one of them, so I hope I like this one also. Then this one, I have a lot of books, and I think I need to check if I don't have more, but it's most anticipated releases for the rest of the year. For example, Alia Zewood actually just said that she was doing this kind of vampire werewolf book, which I'm like, that looks fun. I currently have on my want to read on Goodreads 460 books. That is so many books. This number keeps on getting better and bigger. But not better, maybe, but at least bigger for sure. The book I was talking about by Aliza Wood is actually in 2024. I thought it was in 2023, but it's not. But by her in 2023 we have Check and Mate, which I think is her first non-YA book. Oh no, it's a YA debut. Sorry. And I think it's about chess players, which sounds fun. I never watched the Netflix show about this woman, the chess player. I think the woman is so beautiful, by the way. I don't remember her name, but she looks exactly like Kit Keenan on Instagram, and I love Kit Keenan. And then obviously we have Iron Flame, which is the second book in the Empyrean series. I don't know what's called that. It's the sequel to Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. And I am so excited for King of Greed. I am so excited for King of Greed by Anna Wang. I just know I'm gonna love that book. This is about, if I'm correct, a failing marriage. Like the woman asks for divorce and is like, no, there's no way you're divorcing me. I don't know how it's gonna happen, but I'm so freaking excited to read it. If I could have it in my hand right now, I would devour that book. And it's going out on October 24th. It's way too long for me. Then we have Hopeless by Elsie Sever. It's the 5th book and I think the last one in the Chestnut Spring series. I don't know what this one is about. We don't have description yet. Who do we still have? Bo. Yeah, I forgot about him. That's true, he never got this book. I thought that Reckless would be about him and I didn't thought Theo would have a book. I forgot about Bo because we don't see him as much in Reckless. We saw him a lot more in Powerless. I'm kind of excited by Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare because I think it's the beginning of her new fantasy dystopian series. I have no idea what it's about, but I've started reading The Mortal Instrument when I was very younger and I never finished it, and I think I will one day. But the fact that I can start a Cassandra Clare series while she's writing it sounds a bit more appealing to me right now. And I love The Mortal Instrument book that I read. I read the first one. I have the second one there that I haven't finished yet. But when I was in middle school, I was living for the Shadowhunter series. There is Caught Up by Liz Stamford on the 10th of October. I think there is a lot of book in October and September, which is so exciting. It is the 3rd book in the Windy City series, so it's after Mile High and The Right Move. Wildfire by Anna Grace. I am so excited for this book. I loved so much Icebreaker, and it was the first novel, so I think this one is gonna be like on top of here. And I saw that some people already had arc of this book, which is very exciting for them. I am so happy for them. But this one I'm really excited. We have Sinner's Aton by Sam Sketcher, and I've been waiting for this book because the Sinner's Anonymous series is such a great mafia series. I loved especially the 2nd and 3rd book. I love them. I love the writing. The first book was not the greatest, but really the 2nd and 3rd was amazing, and I think I will love this brother even more. Things We Left Behind by Lucy Score. I think it's the last book normally in the Knightmont series. It's about Lucian. And I know there's gonna be so much banter in this book. So I think those are all my most anticipated releases. I still have some for 2024. I'm so excited. My biggest disappointment would probably be Normal People. I really didn't like that book. I read it at the beginning of the year and I really didn't like that book, but it was not as big of a disappointment because I had no expectation going into this. However, Kingdom of Ash was a bit of a disappointment because I was just expecting a bit more from the end. I don't know, I felt like I was still hungry for more even after I read the final book of the series. I don't know what happened with Kingdom of Ash. I think I was expecting people to die more and I just didn't have them. I was like, I'm kind of disappointed by that. I feel like I wanted more from that book, but I don't know what exactly. Probably why I'm not an author. My biggest surprise so far is probably Carrie Soto is back. I really thought I wouldn't like Taylor Jenkins Reid's books, but I loved that book so freaking much. I did a reading blog of it, but I don't know if it was because I was starting to get into tennis or what, but I loved the characters so much in that book, every single one of them. And also My Dark Romeo. I literally just read it because of the cover, but it was such a nice romance book. I know it's not for everyone, but I really liked it, surprisingly. This is another day. We're gonna pretend nothing happened. I put on the same top, so you're not getting confused. The next question was my new favorite author. For my new favorite author, I would probably say Carissa Broadbent. Even though she's not like, I love The Serpents and the Wing of Night series, but her other series really did not convince me, at least from the first book, because I didn't read another one. She has the potential. Rebecca Yarros also has the potential, but I never read another book except Fourth Wing. I might try some other romance books. Other than that, I don't really know which authors could be my favorite. I have favorite authors like that I read before, but this year, I don't know. Oh, I read some great Stephanie Hatcher book. So Stephanie Hatcher also has the potential, more on the romance more on the romance side of books. I would say those are the books that really stayed in my brain. New fictional crush. I didn't have to think, there is two of them. Those men are, I just love them so much. Hunt Atala in Crescent City. I would die to actually meet him in life. No, but seriously, I love that man so much. He's so possessive, but at the same time has that you can do things on yourself and you can grow by yourself. I just want to be there for you. It's not you need me, it's I want you to need me, but you don't. So I want you to actually be comfortable with me helping you. And I love that so much. This is the Fenty Beauty. I don't know what it's called. It's in Retro Rose. It's all lipstick that are like super creamy like this. It's almost the end. I love this shade specifically, but this lipstick in general. I bought it for the first time when it was just before my first year of uni. I feel less naked right now. My other fictional crush would be Lorcan in the Front of Class series. I didn't expect to like Lorcan because we saw glimpses of him before, but then when we actually have him, when I saw him with, I was just like dying. Just the way he was suddenly acting, I was like, oh my god. And the subtle love that he was showing her and just the agony he was going through. I loved everything that was happening. It was like, at one point I was only going through Kingdom of Ash because I wanted them to just happen. Then my new favorite character, which might be surprising because I don't think a lot of people are particularly obsessed with those two, but I also have two of them, and it's Daisy Hates and Carrie Soto, and Carrie Soto is back. I love athletes. I really have an obsession with sports in general and how they think, how they train, how everything. So reading Carrie Soto is back was just a dream. I don't know if it's their real life, because obviously I don't know any professional athletes in my entourage, but just reading it, I loved it. I loved her. She is such a strong woman. At the end, she just didn't give a fuck about what everyone was thinking of her, and I love that. And that's something that I aspire to be, because I gave way too much fuck, but at the same time know when to. Well, she learned it, but she knows when to actually step aside, and I love that. And for Daisy Hayes, I don't really know what pushes me towards her. Maybe because I didn't like Magnolia in the first book, but Daisy, I just feel for her, even though she did some things that I just was not happy about. But at the end of the day, I just loved her so much, and I don't have explanation. Like Carrie, I know why. Daisy, I don't know. She's just, I want to hug her and be friends with her. A book that made you cry. Those are two books that I really talk about, and it's Carrie Soto is back. I did a reading vlog. I don't think I put the video of me crying because I was ugly crying for a long time. That book put me on a spiral on itself. I couldn't. She broke my heart. And the other book is House of Earth and Blood, because again, at the end, I was just not expecting what was going on. It hit me. I was like, I'm not a big crier when in book. Like, my reaction to Carrie Soto is back is very not usual. Those two books are just, I was not expecting this, and at the beginning I was like, kind of, nothing is going on, and then I started really crying. I was like, this is too much for me. I'm not a big crier in book or series or movies, but in real life, when something upsets me, I'm a big crier in life. It depends. It comes in waves. A book that made me happy. Most of the books that I read actually make me happy, because I don't know, I love reading, so that's just something that makes me happy in itself. But I specifically said 3 books. Fourth Wing, because I love discovering a new universe. Like, I think that's what's the most fun while reading fantasy or dystopian, is that you are entering a new world and you're like, well, this is how it works, those are the characters. I just love discovering a new world. That's why most of the book series that I read, I love the first book more than any others, because you're discovering everything, and that's the better part. So I would say Fourth Wing is really high. Love Theoretically, also really high. I think it will become one of my comfort books, because I don't have anything in it that just upsets me. Like Love Hypothesis. When I don't feel good about reading on my life, or if I feel overwhelmed, I really like having those types of books where you just know what's gonna happen, but you still love everything about it. That just makes it great and nice to read. Another book like this is The Wrong Mr. Right. It's for a video that is coming very soon. This book is just such a great summer read. It's a love story, and I don't know how to explain it, but it just gives such good vibes that I loved every single moment of it, and I was like, that's it, I don't need more. The most beautiful book you've acquired this year. If you don't know that about me, I don't buy books in physical form. I am a very heavy ebooks reader, because first of all, I don't have a lot of space, but also books here are so freaking expensive, and I also like to read them in their first language. If I read a book by a Spanish author, I want to read it in Spanish. If I read a French book, I want to read it in French, and most of the books I'm reading are English. I've acquired this book set of the Akota series because it's my favorite series, and oh yeah, so that was in Christmas, but for my birthday, my best friend actually got me the Magnolia Parks books, and I think this book is absolutely gorgeous. It's a beautiful book, so I would say this one because it's literally the only one I got this year and it's beautiful. I only ask for my birthday or anything, or buy books that are my favorite books ever that I really want to have in physical form, because that means that I usually want to annotate them. So that's why. We only have 2 questions left. A book that you need to read before the end of 2023. I would say obviously Crimson River, like I said before, and I really want to read House of Sky and Breath. For now, I didn't get spoiled. I'm hoping to not get spoiled before I finished it, but I think I need to speed up a bit. But I'm doing a reading vlog like I did with the first book. That's why it's taking a bit more time than I thought it would, and also because I'm scared of the end. Everyone is talking about how these books end. I'm gonna be honest, that scares me a lot. But I have so many theories of how it's gonna end. And the last question is my favorite book content creator, and that would be Health. I think that's her name. I don't know her personally, but it's health.bookclub on TikTok, and I follow her on YouTube and Instagram too. I started noticing her on TikTok and she is so freaking funny. I love her TikToks. Yeah, so entertaining. Like, she can, I don't know, I just love her vibe and what she's saying. That's currently my favorite. And that's it for all of the questions of this mid-year book tag. I hope you had a great time. I really did. Don't forget to subscribe and put a thumbs up. That would help grow my channel. And I will see you very soon for a new video. Bye!